Coming here reminds me of my journey to regenerate the world.
But this time, we're here to cure your illness.
I'm curious to see what the design of Tethe'alla's Tower of Salvation is like. Now, Zelos, open the door, quickly!
You know, you can get really scary sometimes. Oh, yeah! Check me out! It's my time to shine! Do I look like a chosen or what?
Yeah. Let's get going.
Roger.
That's a very disturbing laugh.
Zelos, is something wrong?
What?
You're even more,
Even more obnoxious than usual? Nah, he's always like this. Just ignore him.
She's pretty sharp.
Ghastly.
such a sad place.
Wait a minute. Is this really Tethe'alla?
Yeah, it looks identical to Sylvarant's Tower of Salvation. My body, I can't stop shaking. This is the same place.
It can't be.
Lloyd, remember this?
Wait, I broke that.
The two worlds are connected here. Of course, it's the same place.
Kratos, it's you again. Who are you really? Are you really one of Mythos' companions from 4,000 years ago?
Good. Since you figured that out, it saves me the time to explain. We will take the Chosen as the new body for Martel.
You're still trying to do that? Are you so intent on resurrecting Martel that you're willing to distort the entire world in the process?
I have no need to explain.
So in the end, you really are our enemy. I kept thinking, hoping that you might be good, but you're not.
I should think that would be obvious at this point.
Don't hold back this time.
I hope you improved.
This can't be good.
Take this! Judgment! Work! Super Lightning Blade!
Holy song!
Ready for this? Rising Mountain! Ready for this? Here we go!
Angel feathers!
Demon Fang! Ready for this?
You ready for this?
Serpent's opinion!
Lightning Blade! Super Lightning Blade! Fierce Demon Fang! Super Lightning Blade!
Ready for this?
Fierce Lightning Blade! Super Lightning Blade!
Splendor of thy song.
Take this!
Holy song!
Eruption! Double Demon Fang!
Uh-oh.
Fierce
I'm
Demon
sorry,
Fang!
everyone.
Blame your fate. I would advise against resisting, for there will be no mercy this time.
Are we still alive?
Well, looks like we'll have our lives at least until they finish preparing Colette's treatment. Apparently she's useless the way she is now.
Maybe we were tricked. He had us gather the materials to treat Colette. And then had us bring her here. That sure saved them a lot of time and effort.
Kratos used us? Did he betray us again?
Lloyd,
I feel guilty for letting this happen to Colette and the others.
I really want to know why I keep getting captured and getting thrown into jail all the time.
you sure you haven't been doing anything to deserve it?
We should just be glad we have our lives.
Well, yeah. Damn it! This thing's built solid as a rock. And I can't open the lock either.
Same here. It won't budge at all.
Can Colette or Persea break it?
Nope. I'm sorry I couldn't be of use.
So we're completely trapped.
Move.
Whoa!
How did you do that?
I originally specialized in fighting with my hands, not my feet. And since X-spheres amplify their users' abilities far above their maximum limits, this result is to be expected.
Then why don't you just fight with your hands?
I swore I would never fight with these hands again. This time, I used them in order to save you, Lloyd. You're going to unite the worlds and save Colette, right?
Yeah, that's right. All right, everybody grab what you can and let's get out of here. They're all angels. We're gonna get caught if we keep wandering around here.
You're right. We'll pretend to be Colette's prisoners. She should be fine because she's an angel.
Okay.
I please have a fragment of mana?
Fragments of mana are no longer being distributed. Return to your area.
You won't give us one?
A human?
These are the subjects needed for the Cruxis crystal research.
High X-sphere research. I see. Now that you mention it, I've heard that research involving humans were being conducted.
Yes, exactly. And we require a fragment of mana for that purpose.
Understood. Then please show me your identification.
Do we need that?
Of course. Lord Kratos.
We need a fragment of mana for the ritual of the Chosen. I've sent a courier over to pick it up.
Understood.
Yeah, that's us.
Are you saying you're Lord Kratos' couriers?
Yeah.
Silence, human!
We're with Kratos.
But just a moment ago, you said you were going to use it for high X-sphere research.
That's right. And it just so happens that it's also needed in the ritual, so we came to retrieve it. Please hurry.
But without identification. Besides, you seem to be of the Desian class and have humans among you.
While you're complaining about these little nitpicky details, you're keeping Yggdrasil waiting. Do you want to take him off?
That's right. Lord Yggdrasil is scary if you cross him.
All right. Make sure you get it to them.
this is the sword Yggdrasil struck me with.
Could this be the Eternal Sword?
No way! Nobody'd leave a sword that important in a place like this.
How about we take it to Heimdall and show it to the Elder?
Good idea. That way we'd know for sure.
You have not the right.
Ow! What happened?
A waste of effort.
Yggdrasil.
The Eternal Sword cannot be touched by those who lack the right.
The right?
He must be talking about the pact with Origin. That's the sword Yggdrasil tricked Origin into giving him.
You really are a pathetic bunch. It matters not. Origin is under Kratos' seal. Either way, it is impossible for you to wield that sword. And without the power of the Eternal Sword, you cannot reunite the worlds. Your journey is futile.
Futile? You're the one who's making futile attempts to bring back the dead. Besides, what does splitting the world in two even have to do with that?
The worlds still exist only because they were separated into two.
No. It's because of being split in two that there's not enough mana, and countless people are suffering.
Think for a moment. Why is there a shortage of mana? Well, what do you think, my fellow kinsman?
Me? Because the development of Magi technology resulted in a large consumption of mana?
Yes, and that Magi technology led to a great war. War consumes an abhorrent amount of mana.
Don't change the subject. There's a mana shortage because you won't let the great seed germinate.
I am not changing the subject. Even if the giant tree were to be revived, another war would make it wither and die. Wars are caused by two opposing forces. That is why I split the world in two. To isolate the powers that caused that foolish Kharlan war into the worlds of Sylvarant and Tethe'alla.
By alternating between prosperity and dearth, the development of Magi technology is subdued. So that was your plan.
Although at the moment, Tethe'alla has prospered for a little too long.
You're lying. You're sacrificing the great seed just to save Martel.
That's right. The same way you abandoned the declining world of Sylvarant in order to save Colette.
That's...
What you're doing is exactly the same.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not! Lloyd isn't like you!
What?
Lloyd is looking for a way to save both Colette and the world. You're a coward who gave up.
It is the same thing. I am trying to create a world without discrimination. That is the way to save the world.
A world without discrimination? That's...
People fear and hate what is not normal. They are scared of those that are different. then the solution is for everyone to become the same. By using the X-spheres to eliminate the different bloods that flow through elves and humans, everyone on this earth will become the same lifeless beings. Discrimination will vanish. That is the grand age I strive for.
Everyone? The same?
Yes, Desions and Cruxis both exist for this purpose. The conflicts between the races born from discrimination will disappear, Genus.
People will stop treating us differently? Really?
Genus, don't fall for it. Think about how the X-spheres are made. They're made at the cost of people's lives, like marble. Don't you see what's wrong with that?
With revolution comes sacrifice. If you cannot understand that, then you deserve to die with the others. However, first, you'll hand over the Chosen.
No, I won't let you!
You have no choice. I'll show you the meaning of true power. Perish!
It doesn't work!
Holy song!
Ready for this?
Holy Lance!
First,
What a sorry way to go.
I'm gonna take you out! Purgatory!
ready for this?
Holy Lance!
First aid.
Cyclone seal! Thy faithful servant asks
Holy
thy
Lance!
blessing.
You're
The
gonna
splendor of thy
ready for
soul.
this? First aid.
Perish!
Ready for this?
This takes
And
concentration, you
dizzy.
know.
That's all.
Watch out for the magic.
Perish!
Ready for this? First aid.
I'm
Now
sorry,
you're gonna
everyone.
pay. Ready for this?
Perish!
First aid. Ready for this?
Holy Lance!
Colette!
Now!
Lord Yggdrasil! You little vermin! You may be one of us, but you shall pay for your treachery.
Why?
Lord Yggdrasil,
Pronema, why are you here?
sir, new activity in regards to that certain matter has...
Understood. Not always is there a way to save everyone. Remember that. Lloyd, the path you seek is nothing but an illusion.
Why did he let us go?
It can't be. It can't be.
What's wrong, Genus?
Nothing.
Lloyd, we must treat Colette as quickly as possible.
Right. Let's head back for now. My body! I can't move!
Do you want to meet your father?
Huh? What have you done with my dad? Kratos? The renegades in Cruxis are enemies, aren't they? So why...
Quiet. Of course, the drug should have everyone sleeping soundly.
Drug? Where's my dad? If you've done anything to my dad, I'll tear every last one of you to pieces!
Now, is that the way to act when you're about to meet your father for the first time?
So it was you. You were the assassin who tried to kill me at Haima.
Kratos, if you value your son's life at all, do as we say.
What are you talking about?
Release Origin's seal. Otherwise, Lloyd will die right here.
No. Kratos can't be my dad. I can't believe that. I won't believe that.
How does it feel to have your own son reject you like that? I'd guess from your attitude, you don't plan on releasing Origin. If that's the way it's going to be, then you'll just have to die.
One move, and your son dies.
You changed once you got a family. Just like that time 15 years ago, when Anna was transformed into a monster, you lost your ability to fight back.
What?
she hadn't been together with you, she would have never turned out like that. Such an unfortunate woman.
Don't mock my mom. Kratos?
Are you all right? Good.
Ah!
Lloyd, what's wrong? What's going on?
What am I supposed to believe?
Lloyd, calm down.
It's not true. Kratos can't be. The man who betrayed us and made you suffer. He couldn't possibly be my dad.
Lloyd, don't lose sight of who you are. No matter who your parents are, no matter your background, you're still you.
I'm me?
You're the one who told me that no matter what I look like, even if I become an angel, I'm still me. And don't forget, Kratos saved you.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks. But I still can't call you Dad.
Lloyd.
I hate what Cruxis does. Too many people have died. People from Sylvarant, people from Tethe'alla, Desians and renegades and members of Cruxis. They're all victims. I refuse to accept the idea that it's okay to sacrifice people for a cause. It's not okay to lose any life. No life should be born for the sole purpose of dying. I won't sacrifice the world to save Colette. I'm not giving up until I find a way for everyone to live.
Wow, that was an amazingly corny speech. Congratulations.
Mythos?
Did you think I didn't notice what was going on? How pathetic. I had Pronema keep tabs on Kratos. Since it seemed he was leaking information to Lloyd's group.
Damn it! Yggdrasil! How the hell did you find out?
What?
That was a pretty amusing scheme you had going. Hard to believe those filthy renegades that were always getting in my way were actually led by you. If it weren't for my sister's wishes to spare your life, I'd kill you right now.
Stop it! What are you...
What's going on?
Mythos. So it's true.
What's true? That you shouldn't have trusted me? Good guess, Genus, because I didn't trust you either. Mythos saved me.
Shut
Shut up! Mythos saved me. Mythos. How could you do that? You even risked your life to save her.
Mythos, why? Why are you doing this? How could you hurt Tabitha and Altessa? You got along so well with them.
Tabitha. That doll looks so disturbingly like my sister. I never could stand her. She's a failed vessel who couldn't accept my sister's soul. Just looking at her makes me sick.
You little bastard! How dare you betray my best friend!
Lloyd, stop! Please, you're both my friends.
Lord Yggdrasil, your wounds are not yet healed. Please, leave this to the angels.
All right.
Out of the way!
You're gonna regret this.
Watch out! Like that? Demon Fang! Rising Falcon!
How can this happen?
Rising Falcon!
How can this happen?
I was just warming up.
No life should be born for the sole purpose of dying? What do you think those X-spheres are that you're using?
You're in for a world of hurt.
No way! No way! Life seal! No way! Garage seal! Pin! Fire seal! No way! Garage seal! Pinion! No way! Garage seal! Pinion! No way! Fire seal! No way! You gotta be kidding me! No way! No way! Garage seal! Pinion! Garage seal! Pinion! Fire seal! You're in trouble! No way! Fire seal! No way!
You've grown strong.
is it? Come on in.
Lloyd, did I wake you? It's snowing outside.
I was wondering why it was so cold.
Yeah, it's really cold.
You sure sound happy.
Yeah, I mean, I can actually tell it's cold. I'm so happy.
That's right. You couldn't feel things like that just a little while ago, huh?
Say, Lloyd, if you don't mind the cold, do you want to go for a little walk?
Sure.
Look, look! You can see out over the city. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Lloyd, do you remember what Kratos said?
What was it?
He said we can throw the X-Spheres away at any time. But right now, we need to carry the burden of the hopes and dreams of the victims and fight on their behalf.
That was when we saw X-Spheres being made at the human ranch in Sylvarant.
He was talking about your mother, wasn't he?
But he works willingly for the boss of the guy responsible for turning my mom into a monster.
I don't think that's true. Kratos saved us over and over again. And he protected you too, Lloyd.
Yeah, but...
And so, I'm sure he cares about both you and your mother. He's a wonderful father, don't you think?
Is that why you brought me out here? To tell me that?
Yeah, I guess that was part of it.
Thanks, but it's okay. I'm not really shocked about the fact that he's my father anymore.
But
Origin seal?
I'm sorry for bringing it up. But if he unleashes all the mana from his body, then not even he could...
I know. No one knows if he'll survive or not.
And that's why we need to find a way to release Origin without Kratos losing his life. Just like the way you saved me.
Colette?
I'm sure everyone will understand, okay? Please.
Thanks, Colette. But I look at it this way. Kratos has his reasons for siding with Mythos. And I want to hear what those are. Anything else I do is going to wait until after that.
You're going, aren't you? To Darius Karlon.
Yeah. I plan to go after we check on Altessa's condition tomorrow. I don't agree with Mythos' vision. I have to prevent it from happening. I'm going to fight him.
Is it okay if I come a little closer?
Sure.
I don't want to see this beautiful scenery ruin the way Sylvarant was.
I won't let that happen.
This time, we're going to protect it, right?
Yeah. Do you know the 7th Dwarven vow?
The one you hate the most, right?
Goodness and love will always win. I really hope that's true.
Are you worried? Then take this.
What's this?
It's a charm. A Flanor snow bunny. They say it brings good luck. I had them take one to Altessa earlier. And this one's for you.
Thanks.
Lloyd, we're all with you. Now that you have a charm, too, everything will work out okay.
Yeah, you're right. Guys, how's Altessa?
It seems he is out of danger. Right now, some people from Mizuho and the doctor are watching over him.
Good. I need to speak with everyone. The world is never gonna change if we just wait for Cruxis to make the next move, right? So this time, we're going to strike them first.
Well, so you're finally ready to do it. We're gonna raid Cruxis.
Yeah, I have two objectives. Prevent the establishment of Mythos' new age, and release Origin.
But if you release Origin, what about Kratos?
I don't really know yet. We don't know for certain that he'll actually die. We also don't know if he'll side with us or not. We don't have the time to worry about things we're not sure of.
What do you intend to do about the Eternal Sword? Even if you break Origin's seal, you can't wield it, remember? And I doubt either Genus or I would be able to handle a sword.
Don't worry about that. I've got it covered.
What are you talking about?
Why do you think I can use magic swords? I received magic injections with the latest in Tethe'alla technology. In other words, I'm a human with elven blood in me. That should work, shouldn't it?
Then I guess this will be the final battle. Understood. Let us end this.
For the sake of uniting the worlds.
Yeah. I'll do my best, too.
Colette, I need you to stay behind.
Why?
They want you as Martel's vessel. We'll have either Mizuho or the Renegades hide you.
If that's what you want. No, I'm going too.
But
I get it. You don't think you can protect her. That is so sad.
what did you say?
Don't worry, Colette. I, the great Zelos, swear to protect you.
Zelos!
Take her along, Lloyd. They're gonna be after her no matter where she is. You ought to know that by now. Be a man! Show her what you're made of!
Wow, we actually have the same opinion for once. Sorry, Lloyd, but I agree with Zelos this time.
All right. Colette will come with us, okay?
Thank you, Lloyd. And everyone else, too.
Does Tethe'alla really have a technology like that?
It sure does, for some weird reason. All right, let's go kick some Cruxis butt, Lloyd.
Zelos, I trust you.
What are you talking about? Well, of course I can understand that you're counting on me. Just place your faith in me.
Faith, huh? I hope so.
Yeah, come on, let's go. leave this to me.
Leave it to you? What are you gonna do?
I figured something like this might happen, so I prepared a little something the last time we were here. Colette, come here for a second.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Good work, Chosen. Now, bring her to me.
Sure thing.
Zelos!
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, shut up. I'm just putting myself on the winning side. What you're trying to do is hopeless and meaningless. What's the big deal? Colette wanted to be a sacrifice, remember?
Zelos, you traitor!
Oh, give it a rest, Lloyd. Did you forget what I said in Flanor? I side with the strongest.
Betray you? How amusing. Zelos was our spy from the very beginning. Isn't that right, Zelos?
Is that true?
It's not true, is it? Please say that she's lying.
I side with the strongest. It was a simple matter of weighing the renegades, Cruxis, and all of you.
You were leaking information to the renegades too? I can't believe you! You were always a pervert, but I never doubted that you were a good person when it came down to it.
Why, thank you, my sweet, voluptuous honey. But in the end, I choose this side. Because Mythos promised to release me from my fate as a chosen of mana.
You hate being the Chosen so much that you would betray your friends?
Oh yeah, I do. It's because of that title that my life has been a total joke. I can't stand it. I can't wait for Celeste to become the Chosen instead.
You're lying. I still trust you, you hear me? You're the one that told me I could trust you.
What are you, stupid? Let's get going, Lady Pronema.
Lloyd! Lloyd! Lloyd!
Disappear unto nothingness.
Everyone! What are you doing here?
We'll explain later. Here they come.
Damn! Regroup! I will bid you for good!
God, wait!
No way!
Ready, God! Field barrier! Wait!
Gravity well! Gravity well!
What is happening?
Want a charge?
Don't get in my way!
Thunderblade!
as I expected. Are you okay?
Yes.
Why are you all here?
We received a message saying that you were about to head to the final battle. Right now, you must hurry and save Colette.
Right. Be careful.
And you as well.
Is it still active?
Looks like it. Let's go. What's going on? Angels!
Here they come.
You're gonna regret this. Oh my God! Ready? Acuteness! Away!
Demon Fang!
Spread it wing!
Demon Fang!
Field Berry! Nothing's happened!
That was just warming up. Damn it! There's no end in sight!
Make a break for that passage.
All right. Regal!
I'll hold them off here. Hurry!
You know I can't leave you behind!
There's no time. You know that. You're the only one who can save Colette.
I know that, but I can't just leave my friend!
That's not what you're doing. I once wasn't able to protect someone very important to me. So this time, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to protect my friends.
Regal!
Lloyd, save Colette.
All right. Regal, don't die. Don't make me go through the same pain you did. You hear me?
You sure don't make things easy, Lloyd. I'm sorry, Alicia. It looks like it's still going to be a while before I join you. You shall not pass!
Whoa! This thing won't let us through!
Hang on! This thing looks like leftovers from earlier.
You mean one of the giant trees?
Yep, no doubt about it. Just stand back and leave this to me.
Disciple of everlasting ice! Hammer of godly thunder! Servant of Mother Earth! Envoy from the dark abyss! I command thee! Gatherest before me and unleash thine power!
Whoa, what are you doing?
My impression of the mana cannon. Well, it won't be nearly as powerful, but it should be enough to take care of this thing. Lloyd, when I give the signal, run underneath it. Got it?
All right, but what about you?
Don't worry, I'll be fine. Get ready. Here we go.
Now! Ha!
Sheena, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
That was amazing.
Whew. Just don't ask me to do it again, okay? Whew. That drained all my mana. I want to rest for just... Ah!
Sheena, hang on, I'll... What's wrong with you? Why are you laughing?
No, I was just remembering the time when we first met. Looks like I have a strong affinity for falling into holes.
Just hang on. I'll be right there.
Don't worry about me. Just hurry up and go rescue Colette.
This is not the time to act all tough.
I'm not acting. It's just like the last time when I climbed up from the bottom of that pit and I took you on. And this time, I won't miss the main event.
You better be telling the truth.
Of course, you better leave me a piece of the action.
Okay, I'll be waiting for you. You got that?
God, I'm so stupid. Stubborn to the very end. I really need to start acting more feminine at times like this and let him rescue me. That wouldn't be my style now, would it? Lloyd, good luck.
Damn it! Open!
It looks like you can control it from here. Leave this to me.
Professor Sage, hurry!
Don't rush me. This is it.
You did it! Whoa!
Ah! Ow!
Professor Sage, are you okay?
I'm fine. I just made a minor input error.
Be careful, okay?
It's okay now. I'm opening the next door.
Another input error?
No! Now hurry up and defeat it!
You're gonna regret this!
Okay. You picked the wrong guy to mess with.
This is quite an intricate trap.
Professor Sage, are you really making that many mistakes? Wait, are you...
There's no time to worry about that. I'm opening the next one.
Not again! What? Professor Sage! I knew it!
Lloyd, you need to focus on saving Colette right now. Don't get distracted.
Ah!
Man, don't you guys let up! Like shredded, wait! Burn! Like raging mist! Found your weakness! Fire! Come get some! Air thrust! Keep working on it, okay?
Professor Sage, it's okay now. Hurry up and come... Professor Sage!
Lloyd, this room will soon collapse. Hurry up and go.
No, I'm not leaving you behind. I don't want to sacrifice anyone anymore.
Sacrifice? When did anyone become a sacrifice? I believe in your ideals. A world that would accept those of us caught in the middle. I believe in your vision of the world. has become my hope. I came all the way here in order to realize that dream. I've no regrets.
Saving the world won't mean anything if we lose you.
My soul will live on in the world you create. But if your ideals die, then my hope dies as well. Living on without hope is worse than death, don't you think?
I don't understand that at all.
If you don't understand, then make use of your remaining life to think about what it means for a person to live. That's my final lesson to you as your teacher. Now go. Do as your teacher says.
Professor Sage! I'll never forget you.
The rest is in your hands, my precious student.
It's locked from the inside. It's no good. It won't budge.
Lloyd, look up there.
That?
I may be able to enter the room from there. I'll give it a try.
But it's too dangerous to go alone.
I'll be all right. Besides, I'm the only one that can fit through there.
Okay, but be careful.
I will. No! I've almost got it.
Presea!
Stay back! Don't come over here. Please, hurry, go!
No!
Lloyd, you are a kind person. But if you allow your kindness to interfere with your judgment, you're merely weak. You have something you must do. Please do not forget that. Please go. If you don't, I'll lose my respect for you. I'll be fine, so please hurry.
I'm sorry, Presea.
Lloyd, whatever happens, you mustn't give up. Stand and fight. I know you can do it.
Presea, I promise. I'll rescue Colette no matter what. And I'll make a world where everyone can live freely. Another trap?
It's coming towards us!
Whoa. Run!
It's no good. There's one over here, too.
We'll just have to attack it at the same time and smash our way through.
Is that gonna work?
Dwarven vow number 16. You can do anything if you try. We're dead anyway if we fail. Give it all you've got.
That's just like you, Lloyd. Okay, let's do it.
On the count of 3.
Lloyd.
What?
Oh, nothing. I'm ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now! See? Look! It worked!
It It was pretty good for one of your plans, Lloyd. The only flaw was that you didn't take into account my lack of physical reflexes.
Genus!
I messed up.
You did that to get me out?
No.
Liar! You knew it would end up like this. Why did you do it?
If you'd been in my place, you'd have done the same thing. You always jump in without thinking to save someone in trouble. But it was that, Lloyd, that I looked up to. I wanted to be like you.
Genus.
Now hurry up, before it's too late.
No way. I can't leave you behind.
I said go! I'm not like you. I'm a coward. When it comes down to it, my body starts shaking. I don't want you to see me looking pathetic in the end.
Genus!
Go! I said go!
You fool!
You are my best friend, Lloyd.
I'm alive. But how? The snow bunny that Colette gave me. She protected me. Colette, I'm coming for you. Just hang on. What's this? Is it some kind of trap? And what is this thing? Damn, there's no time to be worrying. I've got to rescue Colette for everyone's sake.
It is finally time, dearest sister. This body has the closest match to your mana signature. I failed many times in the past, but this time I swear I'll make it work.
The mana charge is complete, my lord.
Good. Do it.
Let her go!
Lloyd, how did you get in here? The lock to this room can only be opened by a member of the Cruxis High Order.
None of your business. What matters is that your selfish dream ends here.
A futile effort.
We won't let you lay a finger on him!
Guys, how did... You okay?
I told you I wouldn't miss the main event.
You did not want to share the same pain I do, correct?
I can't possibly miss seeing the new world that's about to be made.
I can still fight. As long as I can fight, I will stay by your side.
Pretty good, huh?
Everyone, all right, let's take him on together.
Nima. It is your fault they are still alive. Kill them!
Yes, sir. I shall expel you of your flaws.
Field barrier! Agarazium! Take this! Power seal! Take this! Agarazium! Serpent!
Here we go! What? Swallow!
What's photon?
So that's the weakness.
Crescent move.
Take this! Dark spear! Acuteness! Tiger blade! Ready? Neo! Silver seal!
Healer.
Take this!
Are you okay?
Try this! Silver seal! Take this! Guardian! Ready? Nurse! Agarazium!
This can't be.
Dark spear! Agarazium! Try this! Healing circle! Silver seal! Feudal! Ready? Silver seal! Take this! Nurse! Are you okay? Sword ring! First aid! Take this!
Are you okay?
Guardian! Silver seal! Don't get in my way! Take this! Try this! Silver seal! No way! Ready? Healing circle!
Help is on the way.
Healing circle! Serpent seal! Agarazium! Don't like that! Nurse! Stay away! Ready? Prism soul!
Sorry.
I wasn't strong enough.
Nail! Don't get in my way! Take this! Resurrection! Power seal! Agarazium! Agarazium! Don't like that! Agarazium! Don't get in my way! Try Agarazium! Silver seal! Neonasia! Nurse! Try Silver seal! Neonasia! Don't like that!
Help is on the way.
Stay away! Nurse! Ready? Prism sword! Try it! Silver seal!
Don't like that.
Here we go!
Serpent seal! Pinion!
Crescent move.
Take this! Sword ring! Silver seal! Agarazium! Nurse! Take this!
Pretty good!
This can't be good.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Stay away! Ready? Prism sword! Silver seal! Take this!
Are you okay?
First aid! Agarazium! Take this!
I can't believe I lost twice to this wretched lot.
Not bad, am I?
Lord Yggdrasil, it hurts. Please, help me.
I've succeeded. Martel is awake.
Lord Yggdrasil, Mythos, please.
Only my former companions can call me by that name. Get out of my sight!
so cruel.
Dear sister, you've finally come back to me.
No. Colette! It can't be true!
Mythos, what have you done?
Martel? Oh, you mean my body? I hasten my growth to have an appearance befitting the leader of Cruxis. Wait just a moment. I'll switch back to my old form.
No, Mythos, not that. I've been watching all this time, unable to move, unable to do anything. I watched all those foolish things you've done. Have you forgotten everything? We stopped the ancient war because we dreamt of a world where humans, elves, and those in between could live in harmony.
What are you saying? This after all the trouble I went to prepare a new body for you? But I see. You don't like that one, do you?
Mythos, please, listen to me. What you have done is wrong. It is not what we strived for.
Wrong? Are you rejecting me?
No, I want you to remember. Please stop this and become your old self again.
Martel? Even you reject me? No. Martel would never say something like that. I won't allow that. Do you hear me?
You okay, Lloyd?
What are you doing? I thought you wanted me to set you free of your fate as a chosen.
Oh, you know what? I changed my mind. That won't matter after we beat the snot out of you anyway.
Zelos, I knew you'd come back to us.
Sorry about all that. It was the only way I could get my hands on this. Here. Refine that with dwarven arts, and it'll let even a human use the eternal sword.
Are you saying you did all that just to get this?
That's right. This stupid chosen released us from those traps back there.
But it is true that I deceived you. I've held you guys back for a long time. I figured I'd at least have to do something like that to make up for it.
If you want to make it up to us, hurry up and fight.
You got it.
Damn you! Give me back my sister!
Goodbye, Mythos. This is my final wish. Please, return this twisted world back to its original form.
No! Martel! Don't go!
If things are going to end up like this, perhaps the elves should never have left Darris Carlon. If they hadn't, people like us would never have been born.
So that was it. Martel, you just wanted to leave this filthy world and return to Darris Carlon. Yes, of course. That world is the homeland of all elven blood.
Mythos?
Yes, dearest sister. Let's forget these filthy creatures and return home together. To Darris Carlon.
Everyone! We have to stop Mythos. Martel is calling to me. Martel wants us to stop him.
Shut up! Martel would never say something like that. You miserable failure.
She did say it. She was crying. She said, please, don't make everyone suffer any longer.
Lloyd, you understand, right? If we lose the Great Seed, we'll betray the Renegade's hope.
And we of Mizuho won't stand it either.
Without it, the giant tree will not germinate.
Without mana, the land will die.
If your goal is the reunification of the world, then...
I know. We're gonna stop Mythos with everything we got. Let's go!
I won't let you interfere.
I will kill you all! Why can you not accept the ideal world that I have envisioned?
How can your world be ideal when you have killed countless innocent people?
Human, don't tell me what's right and wrong. Holy Lance!
The splendor of thy soul. My holy soul!
Sword ring!
Ready for this?
Starish!
That's all.
Now the magic! First aid!
This can't be good.
First aid! Perish! Sonic sword!
Death Eater!
Ready for this?
Death Eater!
That's ready for this?
First aid! Perish!
That's all.
Death Eater!
That's all.
Out of my sight! Perish!
Ready for this?
First aid!
Honor us.
Death Eater!
Holy soul!
First aid!
Ready for this?
First
Holy
aid!
Lance!
Why just me?
Death Eater!
Perish!
First aid!
Holy Lance!
Pretty good.
Purgatory seal.
Death
Ready for
Eater!
this?
First aid!
Death Eater!
Honor us. Splendor of thy soul.
Perish!
Ready for this?
Holy soul!
That's all.
First aid!
Holy Lance!
Ready for this?
Purgatory
First
seal.
aid!
No. Sorry. Ready? Purgatory
Death
seal.
Eater!
Ready for this?
Thanks.
First aid!
Death Eater!
My faithful servant.
Ready for this?
Sorry.
First aid.
No way! Holy song!
Ready for this?
Death Eater! Death Eater! Death Eater!
Ready for this?
Death Eater!
Ready for this?
Death Eater!
First aid.
Holy Lance!
Ready for this?
First aid! Prism Sword! That's all.
Ready for this?
Death Eater!
First aid. Ready for this?
Prism Sword!
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Dad. You okay?
Holy Lance!
I won't die until I save Martel. How? I cannot lose. I'm going home. I'm going home with my sister.
It's over.
Is it? The worlds are still split. The giant tree has not yet germinated. What exactly is it that's over?
Good timing. I wanted to ask you something. What was it that you saw in Mythos? Why did you help him seal Origin?
Mythos was my apprentice and a valuable friend. Isn't that enough?
Do you forgive anything someone does, no matter how horrible? Just because he's your friend?
I don't see a need to explain myself further. If you want to release Origin's seal, you must defeat me.
Kratos, wait!
I'll be waiting for you before the seal.
Lloyd, let's head back first, okay?
What is it?
Are you still up?
I couldn't really get to sleep.
The stars are so pretty. Do you want to come see them with me?
Okay then, just for a little while.
Wow. It feels like they might come falling down at any moment.
Yeah.
You know, it still feels strange. The fact that I'm still here, talking with you.
How come?
My grandmother told me that I could never return to the village once I left on the journey to regenerate the world. So, when I talked with you the night before leaving Asalia, I thought it would be the very last time. But I'm still here, right beside you.
And that's the way it'll be. Cruxis is gone. And tomorrow, when I win against Kratos and have him remove the seal, the worlds will be reunited. You don't have to worry anymore.
So you're going to fight Kratos?
I have to.
But he's your father.
It's because he's my dad that I have to fight.
Why?
He wants to settle things. He wants to settle the score with his own past. That's what it feels like to me.
Maybe you're right. After all, he saved us.
Yeah, and I also want to settle things myself.
What do you mean?
I've spent this whole time expecting you to do everything. I just took it for granted that you're the only one who could regenerate the world. I never questioned that.
You didn't know. It's not your fault. And besides, you saved me, just like you promised you would.
But because of that, a lot of people lost their lives. I have to shoulder their sacrifices. For their sake and mine, I have to defeat the Kratos of the past.
I understand.
When this is all over, I hope the world becomes a place where everyone can live together.
When this journey ends and the world really becomes like that, what are you going to do? Will you return to Asalia?
I don't think I'm going back there again. I plan to go on a journey to collect all of these.
X-Spheres?
Unless they're all retrieved, there'll be more victims like you and Persea. So I want to gather all of them before that happens. That's my way of showing gratitude to these guys for using their powers to fight.
Do you mind if I come along with you?
What?
I want to continue to be by your side, just like I've been up until now.
All right, we'll go together. Let's go explore the new world together.
Okay.
So, you've come.
Is there no other way?
Are you still thinking like that? You'll die if you fight me with any doubt left in your heart. If you want the pact with Origin, then you must defeat me.
So, that's your way. Everyone, leave this to me.
You're going to fight alone?
Lloyd won't lose. Lloyd bears the weight of all the lives that you and Cruxis sacrificed.
Get ready!
I'm not gonna hold back this time.
I know. I won't either.
Double Demon Fang! Double Demon Fang! Brave! Lightning Blade!
No way!
Lightning Blade! Lightning Blade! Fierce Deep Super Lightning Blade!
Think of something!
Lightning Blade! Lightning Blade! Lightning Blade! Work! Lightning! Lightning Blade! Fierce Deep Demon Spear! Brave! Fierce Demon Fang! Take this! Take this! Thunderblade!
Demon Fang!
Thunderblade! Lightning Blade! Fierce Demon Fang! Take this!
Demon Fang!
Double Demon Fang! Fierce Super Lightning Blade! Fierce Demon Fang!
Tiger Blade!
Lightning Demon Spear!
Demon Fang! Tiger Blade! Tiger Blade!
Lightning Blade!
Tiger Blade!
Brave!
Pretty good!
Fierce Deep Demon Spear!
Tiger Blade!
It's over.
You've grown strong.
Thanks to you.
Aren't you going to finish me?
I've defeated Kratos the Angel, the one who betrayed us. And I forgive Kratos, the hero of the ancient war, who helped us. That's all.
And I thought I'd finally earned the right to die. But you're as soft-hearted as ever.
Hold on. You can't be... Are you going to break the seal?
That is what you desire, is it not?
But then you'll... Kratos!
Don't worry, he's alive. I gave him some of my mana.
Dad! Kratos! Are you really okay?
Looks like I failed to die once more.
You stupid jerk! You can die anytime! But when you die, that's the end.
You want him to live in eternal damnation?
Who said anything like that? What will you accomplish by dying? Nothing. There is no meaning in dying.
You're right. To think I had to have my son teach me such an obvious lesson.
Kratos!
Kratos will be fine. Form the pact with Origin.
lack the right. I have lost faith in all things. Have you come here to disappoint me as well?
Origin, are you bound by a pact to Mythos?
My pact with Mythos was broken the moment I was freed. Never again shall anyone make use of my power.
Even if we make a vow, we need the Eternal Sword.
I want to use the Eternal Sword to reunite the two worlds and revive the giant Carlon tree. Unless we do something, the worlds will never stop vying for mana, and everyone will suffer.
That situation was born from the weakness of creatures who are unable to accept those that are different.
That may be true, but mistakes can be corrected.
Some things cannot be corrected.
Even so, we have to do everything we can.
Exactly. I'm not gonna give up. From the moment they are born, everyone has the right to live. I want to reclaim that. Humans, elves, half-elves, dwarves, and even summon spirits. Everyone has a right to life.
Origin. For almost an eternity, I thought that the only way to save this world was to cling to Mythos' ideals. Just as you once agreed with Mythos' ideals, I too thought his was the only way. But Lloyd is different. He taught me that in order to change something, you must do it yourself. It is not enough to merely rely on someone else and go along with their ideals. You who possess the right of summoning, make your vow.
Origin, then...
I will try once more to believe in people. I shall do my duty in order to create a world you speak of. A world in which everyone can live equally.
I, Sheena, have but one vow. To reclaim a world in which everyone can live freely. A world in which no life is sacrificed meaninglessly. That's all.
Then we shall create a pact upon that vow. Now fight!